is right. We can talk about anything you like. Just listen. Take a walk right over to my kitchen. What you wanna do? Come mix it up with the stew. So tell me what you wanna do. Come mix it up with the stew. Yeah, come mix it up with the stew.
Welcome to the stew. Listen, we are feeling ourselves, are we not? It is a fabulous Friday. We are so happy that you're tuned in. I'm Les.
I'm Janae.
And I'm Jiggy Anika.
Yes, she sure is.
Nice
And listen,
one.
we've got a great show in store for you, but we're kicking it off with the boiling point, some issues related to relationships. We're going to dive right in.
Hot
I got very excited just now for
and
boiling
bothered.
points. Yeah. I'm like, I am a junglist.
Hey, aquamarine. Hey, sweet
I
thing.
know, right?
Hey, turquoise.
We on the workplace. You won't be
Okay.
doing that. Yeah, we talked about that last time. That's harassment. Listen, ladies, hot topic number one. How old is too old to date?
Hey, you're never too old, honey. Get yours. Never too old. Listen, love is for giving. Love is for receiving. Let people live and be great and be loved. Go get you some, honey.
It must be Friday because Anika
You know what I'm saying? She is
really
on today.
in it. But
see that?
the story is Betty White, who is 94, famous actress. She said she's single and ready to mingle.
I love it. I love it. Age don't mean a thing. Listen,
There's
love
only a
can come
number.
anytime, in any phase, in any stage of your life, and why deny it? 94,
Exactly.
schminey-four.
Exactly.
Go get you
Yeah.
a man,
Not only
boo.
that, if you can go meet Jamaica soon, why not be in love?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all
Love
for it.
conquers all.
I think companionship is really important, especially at her age, because the last thing you want to do is be lonely and not
Exactly.
really doing anything or not having that person-to-person conversation. Because you know, when you get that age, the young people, they ain't really into you
Nobody's
anyway.
be checking for you when
And
you
could you
know.
imagine how fun dating must be at 94? Like you've heard all the rap already.
I
You've heard
swear.
all the game. You've heard all the
Is
cheesy
there
pickup
game
lines.
at 94?
Yo, of course
Of
there's game at
course.
94. What you
Of
talking
course.
about?
Okay, give
You- could you imagine?
Okay,
No,
give
he's
me a
bragging different.
94-year-old man.
Listen,
give it to me.
Listen, baby. You know,
I don't think they
I've been
say
to
that.
school
I
a
don't-
few times.
I don't really
I have
think
a
they
few
say that.
grandbabies,
Yeah, man.
and they're beautiful. But guess what? They're all grown now, and now we can just travel the world. Sip lemonade on the back
Or
porch.
you know what? No, it
You know what I
might
mean?
just be
Yes,
something simple
yes.
like, sweetheart, I could be that cup that you put your dentures in. Let me do that for you. Let me be that walker
I
you need to hold on to
I
so
don't
you
see-
could stand up.
I don't see it like
Sweet
that.
girl.
No. I'd be
You
like,
need your hearing aid? Let me be that strap for your hearing aid, honey bunny.
or you need me to go to the
Them
pharmacy
glasses?
and get
Let me
them
be the strap
pills.
for them glasses.
Let me
You
help
we
you
like
see.
bifocals. Let me help you see. Let's
Oh.
wake this out. Let's do this.
And there you have it, honey.
So
Get
okay,
you some.
so okay, guys. So if you think about it this way,
Don't
though,
leave me
let's
like
say you were 94. No, okay, 94 is a bit old. But what if you've been talking to one guy for like, I don't know, say you're like 50 and now you're 65 and y'all still talking?
Talking about what?
Wait, say who? Come again?
Like,
Let's
you know, I mean,
rewind.
people talk. We don't date in the Bahamas. We talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? How long is too long to be talking without
What you mean before you
dating?
finally define what the relationship is?
Yes. darling.
Boy,
That don't need to be going into no years. I can say that,
yeah.
number one.
Listen, I feel
Unless
like if
you
you've
don't
been
want
dating
anything.
me or talking to me for at least, and even 6 months feels like a stretch, but 6 months I feel like is safe, you know?
Yeah.
If you don't know if you trying to be with me or like call me your girl after 6 months, I'm wasting my time. That's half of a year.
Yes.
Like, no, you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't,
So
you
what's
don't
that
with Anika.
conversation you have to say, well, babe, it's time for you to tell me.
No, yeah. It's like, hey, sweetie, you know, this has been going so great, and I think I like you. I think you like me too. I just kind of want to know what are we doing?
make
Like, you
this
know, should I be
official.
dating
It's
somebody
time to have
else?
that conversation.
Yeah, it's time to
Yeah.
have that conversation. I mean, no pressure. I ain't trying to ask for a ring, but you know, it's been half of a year. I
Right.
would like to think you know
What
by now.
are we?
Man,
Yeah.
but sweet thing, we ain't ready for that
Then
shit.
no, then you know what?
We
Then you're
ain't
ready
ready?
for me.
Exactly.
There you go. Don't waste my
Let
time,
me
buddy.
push out.
Waste his time,
Wow.
2016,
Wow.
not
You
my
know
time.
what I'm saying?
So if you
right.
date
Life
any one
short.
of these two, you're gonna have a bit of a hard time.
Listen,
You think 6 months is too short?
Getting younger,
No,
okay?
no. You think 6 months is too short?
No, I don't even know what talking is. It does not exist. That's not. I mean, talking. I'm
just
talking
get right
to you
to
now,
it.
so we could do this forever, you know.
Right.
But I mean, you're dating, or
I can't deal.
you're dating. You're dating.
Yeah.
I mean, dating's not a curse. It's not a bad thing. It's just we're so afraid to put that label on it.
Yeah.
And then when you put that label on it, all of a sudden they call you the H word. And it's like, no, dating, you're supposed to date. When you're younger, you're
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah.
date, figure
You
out
should.
who you like and all that
what you
stuff.
don't
So
like.
talking doesn't exist to me. We could talk and we could have conversations and be friends.
Right.
But if we're dating, we're dating.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
strangely
so
enough,
we're
though-
together, is what you're saying. Gotcha.
But can you date the dating multiple people thing? I haven't figured out too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we know that's I think a cultural thing as well. It's just different over here.
I feel like it's a
in
choice.
the Bahamas.
It comes down to a conversation. I have no issues with like dating someone, and if they're honest enough to say to me, I want to date someone else, or I like you so much, I only want to date you. I just feel like that's a case by case thing, and if you like me enough to only date me, and I like you to only date you, we can do that.
Yeah.
You know? So
What I had
it's-
started to say, though, funny enough, I don't ever recall a time being in a relationship with somebody or talking to somebody and then crossing that threshold. It was just like, yeah, one day you're talking and then the next day, yeah, your boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't
no,
ever recall.
You need to talk about
sitting
it.
down.
Because you know
No,
what's
I'm not
worse?
saying you shouldn't. You should.
Hold on. Have you ever been in a situation where you
That's what
thought
you
you were
should.
in a relationship and then the
And then
other person
somebody
was
checked
like,
you?
Well, let me tell you.
No.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you a funny
No,
story though.
it's- no.
When I met my husband, we were talking. Right, and he keeps talking about the first time he realized we were in a relationship because I told my friend, I'm like, yeah, this is my boyfriend, and he was there like,
Oh.
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
I didn't get the memo.
But he was so nice about it. He didn't he didn't cause drama. He didn't
Yeah.
he didn't pull a scene. He was just like, oh, I didn't realize that
I guess I have a girlfriend.
at all.
That's the worst. So that's why you should have the conversation. Ladies, don't be out here introducing
Yeah,
your
no,
man
for
to your
sure.
family and friends like,
Have
hey,
it.
this is my boyfriend. And he's like, but wait,
Yeah.
when?
If at least
How?
they're in a relationship, the two of you should know
The two
about
of you
it,
should know.
not just one.
I didn't take that
So-
route, and I turned out quite fine.
Yes,
so
she's
really,
married.
it's a case by case
worked for
basis.
her. He put a ring on it,
You
honey.
gotta be crazy. You remember this conversation, guys? You gotta
Yeah.
be crazy. You gotta put the pedal to the metal when you're ready.
Listen, moving on, right? Because we're still talking about relationships here.
Yep.
Now, some of you out there may or may not have seen the post that has been circulating on social media. Who comes first in a man's life? And there was a photo of a young lady, an older lady, a baby mama, and a daughter. So the question is, out of these 4 women in your life, men, how do you put them in order of importance to you? Who means more? Your wife, your mom, your daughter, or your baby mama?
Wow.
Now, I can tell you some of the individuals I spoke to, first of all, was just like, why is baby mama even in this
In it,
equation?
yeah.
All right, so if we decide to take that out, I got a lot of feedback in terms of it was wife for people, and then daughter, and then mom, and
Janae, what's
baby
that
mama,
face? What
if
do you
go
I
that
feel
way.
like they were just saying it to hear themselves. Like, yeah, that's what the church keeps saying. But I don't think that they really believe that.
Really?
No, I think they put their mom first because every other woman is a WHORE.
Did she almost say that word?
Yeah, it's okay. So you believe that they're faking?
I feel like, okay, they're like, oh, my mom's my first love, oh my gosh. And then that's just how yeah. And so I think, I'll tell you how I think it is. It's mom, it's the dog, it's the piece of chicken from KFC, work, and then it's everything else. I don't think people believe that. Wife should come. It sounds nice. It really sounds amazing.
Are you speaking from personal experience? Are you speaking from this is how I think it should be? What are we dealing with? Here, Janae, break this down, honey. Break
No,
this down.
I'm talking about real life. I mean, men say it because they're talking to you. They're like, oh yeah, I want you to know that I'd put my wife first. No.
And that's not what they do.
Well, I think it should definitely be wife first. You know, I mean, that's the person you build a foundation with. That's the person you build a life with. And if y'all two ain't good, then everything else, in my opinion, kind of falls apart. And I definitely think daughter next. I mean, that's your family. You know, so mom had a moment to do her thing in her life, and she got it right or got it wrong, whatever the case is. But that's your family that you care for first. And then mommy know I got her all the time. But mommy should be third. Baby mama, listen, if baby mama is higher on that list, you need to have that talk. You need to be having a conversation.
You might need to cut it.
You might need to cut it.
Yeah, you might need to rearrange some things. What about you, Les? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think definitely the wife should be up there. I was speaking with someone who said the daughter should come first because the daughter is who needs to be taken care of, a wife, and all the other adults can fend for themselves. Yes, and I guess depending on who that individual is and how needy each of the individuals are, they probably
get 16, and then you gotta
kind of go neck and neck.
That's how I feel for real. Daughter till you get 16, but again, your wife, boy.
No, you gotta, like, everyone
Happy
knows,
wife,
happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
So, you might need to.
Yeah.
But what about mama's boys, you know?
Well, mama's boys just need to get checked all together. I mean, like, you can't be putting the mama before the
All right. So there's a whole lot of talk about mama's boys and babies and baby mamas and chicken and, you know, the awkward order of things. But anyway, we're going to get into some proper order in just a bit. You are watching this too. We'll see you guys soon. Welcome back to the stew. And if you know us, you know that we love art, we love culture, we love caricatures and illustration. And today in studio, we have Maz Joshin, you know, such a superstar name, illustrator, caricature person, superstar here in studio. Get out here, Maz Joshin. With this superstar name, it literally sounds like you're a superhero. Can I say that? Hello.
How you doing?
Welcome to the studio.
I'm so glad to be here. How you doing? Good. Leslie.
Hey. Ooh, I see pouch and I know it's like December,
got
so
gifts for
I came
us.
bearing
you
gifts.
came bearing gifts.
Wow. We love gifts.
Yeah?
Note to future guests. I take
Yeah.
In
I set the bar high now.
everyone must bring a gift.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so what have you been up to? What's in the bag? Please tell us about your business.
Well, I've been up to my first volume of my comic, Supernova. It's been a very busy year because not only do I do illustrations, I'm also in a band, so it's been really busy.
Yeah.
What I brought was some of my illustrations, and I also bought my first volume, so you guys can have a look at it. You know.
So comic books. Tell us more about the comic book and where it started and all that.
Well, the comic book started, I think, about a year and a half ago when me and Rashad Cash, he's an old schoolmate of mine, we wanted to do a publication. And we kept thinking, okay, how are we going to do this? Where are we going to do it? And how's it going to happen? So it started there with that idea. And from there, we just kind of challenged ourselves to make it happen. It was a very troubling task, but we managed. I think.
Tell us about the storyline of Supernova.
Yeah. Where did the name come from even?
Well, it's funny. The name came from a band that I like, Oasis. They have a song called Champagne Supernova. And I thought it was,
I like that. That would be like my stripper name. I mean,
Look where she's going.
but
my alias.
That's where it came from, you know. But the story is a bit more deep than that. What happened was I had just seen a film called Children of Men, and I really loved that film. And I loved the message and the themes behind it. And I thought, you know, those are a lot of things that we could relate to in the Bahamas. There's a lot of that stuff going on. And so basically we set out to make a story where you have women dealing with real issues, I mean really hard issues, but it's so obvious to the audience, because as I was watching the film, it was so obvious to me, the audience, that you need women. They're so important because without them, the world went to like it was garbage. The world went to crap. Exactly. And the film made that so it was so poignant, but it was also so it was there. And
So are you telling me women are the superheroes?
yes.
In this book? We already know this, right? I love it. I love it. Do you have it here? Show us?
Yeah, I could show you a copy actually. It's not even open yet, so you guys get to open it.
Wow.
You know? So yeah. So I don't know which one of you want to open it.
I'm going to go first.
So this is the second edition.
Well, no, this is the first,
This is the first
volume.
edition.
Yeah,
But
you can open
will
it.
be, the story is that you are going to be coming out with the second edition soon.
Yeah.
Give us the deets on that.
Okay, well, the volume 2 is the follow-up to this, basically. And in this first volume, what happens is we're introduced to the character Akia Hepburn. She's Bahamian.
Okay.
And she's looking for a sister because in this world, women have abilities due to a supernova, a star that exploded.
Right.
But what happened was it only affected the bodies of women. And so gradually they began to experience these extraordinary talents. But what happens in this story is it's so ironic. It's like clearly these women are beneficial to us, but we oppress them anyway. So I just thought that was hilarious. I mean, it's not really hilarious, but it's kind of like this
I
weird
gotta ask
comedy.
then, what did you think about the gender equality referendum?
That's, what's amazing? When that happened, we had already been in production with the book. So, I was like, oh my goodness,
Wow.
like, this is so weird. And it's like, it's like what I thought it
truth.
would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we can make it about something else when it really is what it's like plain as day, but I wasn't surprised.
So Maz, tell me, with this comic book series, are you going to continue with this particular content and these particular characters, or are you going to branch off into an entirely different storyline? You know, like how other comic books exist, DC Comics, Marvel, they have different characters, but then with some of them, there's a continuing storyline throughout, or you haven't gotten that far?
Well, no, I've gotten extremely far. I actually have 2 other books that I'm working on. One is one called Canyon, and you'll start to notice a running theme with me. And this one, it's about this girl who gets exiled from this small village. They're a very religious group. They have a very strong belief system, and she got pregnant, and it was a mystery. Nobody could have figured out who impregnated this girl. So instead of dealing with the issue as a community, they cast her out into the place called the Shara. It's a desert, a wasteland, and she has to spend the rest of her life wandering the wasteland. But what she's trying to do is, one, prove her innocence and prove her right to be who she wants to be. So,
and that's also going to be a comic book?
yes, that's also going to be a
For a
comic book.
man, you
Okay, wow.
completely
Yeah,
get the woman thing.
Yeah,
Please
you're
tell
very
me.
deep here,
Yeah, tell me
Maz.
more about
Yeah.
that. And what's your favorite thing about women?
Well, what my favorite thing, that put me on the spot there, but there's so much to like about, the opposite gender. And I think we complement each other so well, but we spend so much time trying to pin in each other against each other that we kind of miss that. And for me, it's just that we complement each other. It's no I'm better than you, I'm this or that. It's just like we complement. So with that said, we should all have equal playground to everything. And
There we go.
So-
Equal rights.
Are all of your comic books then are going to be an ode and a celebration of women? Is that going to
love
be
it.
the Maz Joshin signature
Maybe.
of your comics?
There's a guy called Hayao Miyazaki. I don't know, maybe you guys heard of him. But he did a movie called Spirited Away. And all of his animations, for the most part, their lead characters are little girls. And people asked him, they said, well, Miyazaki, why are all your characters little girls? Are you trying to impose some kind of ideology on people?
Right.
And his response was, I think we owe a responsibility to our children to show that they can do all these amazing things. Because he said, every time I turn on a TV, every time I watch a film, we see these young men doing these extraordinary things. And that's uplifting, that's great. But then we have a daughter, and all we ever portray is, she's in the background.
Or she's a
I'm just
homemaker,
here.
or she's a
Yeah,
baker.
I'm just here.
So
Yeah.
it seems like you
Second
have a
class.
purpose in kind of your writing at the moment,
amazing.
and there's some sort of story that you're trying to tell, or something that you're trying to push.
Yes, actually. There's a. I lost my mother at a very young age. I was about 6, and so it's kind of weird too because that losing a parent at that age, especially your mom, you don't have anything to cling to say, well, this is how a mother treats her child.
Yep.
But the absence of that created that image in my head that okay, we have to value what we have. We have to value women and what they do in our society, and that's kind of always been my mission. And I don't want to sound pretentious or anything, but you know, because someone had asked me, it's like, what gives you the right as a man to tell these stories? And that's a good question, you know what I mean? Like, what entitles me to tell that story? And the truth is, I don't have any entitlement. But what I will do is I will try, and I'm always open to suggestions when it comes to, because I've never been a girl. I don't know what that's like. I have
but
no
you're
idea.
doing such a great job. I love it.
About the event very quickly before we go.
Well, the event is this Sunday, 1 p.m. at the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, and it's pretty much going to be a meet and greet, but we're going to be talking about the process, because a lot of times people love the idea of comic books and illustrations and animation, but they don't know much about the process. And so we're going to pretty much talk about the process, and there's going to be a guest speaker, Jason Evans. He's an animator.
Yes,
I think you know him.
Yeah.
He's going to be talking about his process. And
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We are so happy to have had you, Maz.
I'm really grateful to be here.
Very inspiring, and it's nice to have a young man here who appreciates women.
Yes, we
so fitting.
Come back
Exactly.
anytime, honey.
Helps
Come
us
back anytime.
to push the agenda just a bit more on
Yeah.
equal rights with women and men. But we'll be back after the break. I think Les is going to give us some interesting tips. We'll be right back.
We're back with the stew. I'm Les, and this is today's wellness tip. Today, we're talking about stress eating, which has both physiological and psychological factors, as stress can affect our bodies in several ways, from tension headaches to difficulty sleeping, and yes, our appetites. According to an article on MSN Lifestyle, the hormone cortisol is what makes us want to eat more, especially comfort food. And of course, long-term stress increases the levels of cortisol in our bodies. Here are some suggestions to toning down those stress levels. Try a non-food related activity when you're thinking about grabbing that bag of chips. Something as simple as phoning a friend might just do the trick. Even better, how about starting your day with an activity like reading or journaling, perhaps prayer or meditation, or a quick workout or stretch routine. That way, if you're beginning your day with an activity that you're looking forward to, there's a greater chance of decreasing your stress level for the entire day. Please note, however, that these wellness tips are not meant to replace medical advice or a diagnosis by a doctor. If you think you or someone you know has a serious medical condition, I urge you to please seek help from a medical professional. And that's your wellness tip right here on The Stew. I'm Les, and I will see you next time.
So Starface, Lightning Les, and Moonface is want to thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Stew for this Freaky Friday. Make sure you have those conversations. Don't be dating no man for more than 6 months and you know what y'all is, all right? And if you're 94, if you 100, if you 21, whatever, get you some loving, honey. Age ain't nothing but
y'all
a
ain't talking,
number.
though.
But y'all ain't talking. Y'all dating. Okay. All right. Thank you for tuning into The Stew. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same
Next week.
girls.
Ish.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. See you.
When the vibe is right.